do we do when we're done the waiting for the cabinet game? We start the waiting for the countertop game. Yay! The last time that we talked was on May 3rd, a Wednesday. We were expecting one more day of cabinet installation and then a sink delivery on Friday. It turns out that the sink wasn't delivered until the following Monday. Normally the sink would be installed by the person who installs the cabinets. In our case, that was Sal. He wasn't available, so the designer asked Danny to do it. It wasn't a sink that either one of them had worked with before, so there was a certain amount of back and forth. It boiled down to two problems. One, the sink sits further forward than they're used to, and two, the cabinet base was for a standard sink, not an apron front sink. So Danny was free to cut off as much as he needed to, and Amanda had ordered a new front. Now the sink is in. It's not caulked or glued or attached in any way, but it's in place for the templating. Due to the delays in getting the sink, the templating appointment was delayed until Thursday, May 11th, so a week later. While we waited, Danny did some trim work, and the electrician came for a second visit to connect the ceiling lights, under cabinet lights, and some outlets. The countertop company, Quartz Co. Surfaces, came and did their thing on the appointed day. I didn't even notice them coming, and I was waiting for them. Danny just took care of it. We were told that production of the countertop would take 5 to 10 business days, so roughly 2 weeks. They were going to give us a delivery date after templating, but we didn't hear from them. After a week, they still didn't have a delivery date for us. Now, I've done projects before, and I know that if someone won't even give you a date, they're not going to be on time. Because if you're going to be on time, you provide a date and you're excited to do it. If they're avoiding you, they're going to be at least 2 weeks away, which is the equivalent of an eternity in project time. Finally, on May 25th, day that we're supposed to be installing the countertop, they gave us a date. June 6th. This was nearly 4 weeks after their templating, which completely blows their promised time. I asked if we could go with another installer. It turns out that Quartz Co. Surfaces is the exclusive installer for Cambria in our region. Exclusivity is problematic because it leads to misbehavior like this. I considered using a different material, for example, from Home Depot. Cambria can't be the only company with a black countertop, right? After I calmed down, I decided to stick with what we had. We likely couldn't get it done any faster than at this point. However, if I had known before they templated, I probably would have made a different choice. And this is probably why they were reticent to give us a date. Now, some people have commented to me that the delays in cabinets and countertop were supply chain issues, which were clearly the case during COVID. But I don't have any evidence to support this now. For example, Morales reduced their expected delivery times in the fall because their supply was improving and demand was going down. Also, if Quartz Co. had supply chain issue, they would have happily used that as an explanation or excuse. I'm going to assume that my project is not special, which means they're doing this to other homeowners too. That's disappointing. So here we are again waiting. Our project is late. With any luck, we're going to be done by Father's Day instead of Mother's Day. I think the lateness of this project didn't really hit me until my birthday, which was May 25th. In our family, we normally do a homemade carrot cake. There's a certain way we like to do it. And the reason we like to do it at home and to do it ourselves is because there's a bunch of dietary restrictions in our family: gluten, eggs, dairy, nuts, and so we've discovered over the years that the only way to get a cake that everyone can eat is to make it ourselves. And so when my birthday came and went without our traditional cake, I felt a little pang in my heart. But my designer, who incidentally called me that day, and I shared the sadness, she brought me a cake the next day. So the end is in sight. We're going to see about the delivery of the countertops, and we're nearly there. I mean, once the countertop is in, there's only a few things left to do, and it's mostly trim, and that's Danny's department.